Well, hey there, welcome back. It's Chris Good here. We're continuing the continuing story of trying to get this guitar cut in Fusion 360 using the Decatur Maker's CNC milling machine. And if you've been following along, we've completed the body, we've completed the fretboard, and now we're going to do the most challenging part of all, which is the neck. So I'm going to grab, just like I've grabbed sketches from the base component here, just the Telecaster tutorial root component, I'm going to edit sketch 1, please. I would like to, oh, I'm in measure. I need to edit sketch 1. Let's edit that. And I want to grab this whole thing. I do want to grab the fret lines. I'm actually not going to use all of them. But if you just do a copy, finish sketch, now we're going to create a new component. So the active component was the root component, and now we're going to right click on this and create a new component. This one's going to be the neck. And we're going to make a new sketch inside. Make sure this is the active component now. Make a new sketch inside the neck. And it's on the same plane as the other stuff. Okay, great. So now we're going to paste what we had in our clipboard. And we're going to click OK to drop it right on top of where we copied it from. And now we're going to hide those other sketches. All right, so now we're working in this. If you used fill gaps, right, which is a plugin that we did not import apparently into this. Oh no, we're still in the sketch environment. If you used fill gaps to fill this in and close all of these lines, you probably have ended up with some splines that are segmented. And you can see this line goes into this spline. And then there's another spline down here that's separate from that, and another spline up here. And what we want to do is make at least this thing up here that curves around this way, and this part down here. We want to make those continuous splines. So we're actually going to, you know what? Let's make a new sketch. Let's finish this one. Let's create a new sketch inside the neck 1 component. Right, this is our sketch we copied from here. So let's create a sketch on this plane. That's good. So now all I really want to do is trace with splines. I want to trace this thing out. And it's definitely got to go from here. This is going to be the front of the nut. This is the nut slot in here. And I'm going to trace a spline from the front of the nut until we complete this curve and this transition over to here. And that's how long I want that spline to be. Now, it doesn't match, so I need to grab some stuff and adjust some things. So I want this to be parallel to this line, which is not horizontal, actually. I want it to be parallel. Might need to zoom in a little bit. There, that's okay. This one, I think, is all right. I can't even grab the handles here. There we go. Make this a little shorter. There we go. And it, we're going to be sanding this thing. So if I have a gap in here of like a couple millionths of an inch, couple thou, 10 thou or so, that's not really a big deal. I do want this curve to be match a little bit closer there. So this line's going to be, it's going to kind of go like that. And then this one needs to really curve up a bit more than that. I'm not very good with splines. It's not my favorite part. Okay, I get it. That's a little bit better. Cool. Yeah, this one. Okay, and one more. You grab one, you change it, and it changes all the rest of them. Okay, I'm going to do it for the other side as well down here. Just this transition down to here. I'm I might just clean it up and do the whole thing all the way around here up to here. And if you're lucky, I'll figure out how to speed up the video so you don't have to suffer through the whole thing. Close enough. Okay, so some straight lines connecting these two things. Right, like that. I'm actually going to trace out the whole rest of the neck because there's really only a couple of things I need in the sketch that I brought over, and I'm glad that I'm tracing it along. We can follow this line all the way out to the next curve out here to this part. We can do the same thing down here for this part. This is just a straight line that goes all the way back to here, and that should really join up with that other spline at the front of the nut, and let's put a straight line in here and a couple more splines just to do the corner. I'm just redoing the entire thing so I don't have spline segments. And let's talk about how to get this in the right place. And this one too has to be parallel. Yeah. And some zoom in. For this first part that we're going to do, I'm going to get a line, just a line segment across the first fret and a line segment across the 12th fret. And then I also want a line perpendicular to the long axis of the entire neck that's a 1/4 inch closer to the bridge on both the 12th and the first fret. And I'll tell you why in just a second. So let's do those lines for the frets first. They're already marked out. I know I've got longer segments than that coming up, but let's put a 1st and a 12th fret line. Don't make it perpendicular to that line. It's just got to intersect this one, not perpendicular. Okay, there we go. Now what I want to do is go 1/4 inch this way, 0.25, 0.25 inches that way, right? And I want to draw a vertical line straight down. So I want it 0 degrees or 90 degrees, right? Until it intersects this one. Okay. There's a reason for all of this. I'm going to use these lines to line up a canvas that's going to be a template for the profile of the neck. That is the degree of curvature. We're not going to do that mathematically. There's actually a lot of different neck profiles that are published on the web. And if you grab one and import it as a template, you can use these lines to sort of find the right size and then just sketch over what you want the curvature of the neck to be. I've actually carved out a lot of different, profiles for different necks. They come in, shapes like a U or a C. There's V-neck guitars that you can try out. It's a lot cheaper to try out the ones that you just carve out of a 2x4, just to see how it feels. I'm going to put one in here that I really like the profile of. It's very slim. And it's sort of a modern, they call it a modern C shape. But this is the first part that we're going to do. So one more time, we're going to do it up here. We're going to draw a line out to 0.25 inches. And then we're going to drop a vertical line. Don't make it perpendicular to the axis. You want to make it just 90 degrees until it connects. Okay, we're done. Those are really the only ones I need. So when you hide this, you only have that part. I'm going to keep this sketch here for reference, right? But we're not going to use it right now. Okay. We're going to build the neck in 3 parts. One is a loft between 2 sort of half oval pieces. One is at the 1st fret and the other is at the 12th fret. Then we're going to loft from here to the heel. We're going to do a transition to the heel as a loft. And then we're going to transition into the headstock as well. We're going to do these in separate videos. So this is the first loft that we're going to do. And this is going to give you sort of the overall shape running from the 1st up through the 12th fret with just that curve of the neck profile that you want. So I'm going to insert a canvas, and I want to be looking in this folder for guitars, and I'm working on the Telecaster. So I've got some screenshots of different neck profiles, right? These are some good ones from the 1st fret and from the 12th fret right here. So I'm going to put this one in here, right? And you'll see that I think it comes out of the origin or something. Oh, no, I need to choose the face. So there it is. It's way too small. No, it's way too big. There it is. And I want to rotate this so that it's facing this way, and then drag it over to the 1st fret. And now you can see why I dropped that 1/4 inch thing there. This one actually shows the thickness of the fretboard pretty nicely, but some of them don't. And I want to line this up so that the width of this corresponds to the width of my design at the 1st fret. And again, if it's a little tiny bit off, that's okay, because we're just going to trace this in our sketch environment. I like that. So you can adjust the opacity of the canvas to make it sort of a little bit easier to see, or let you see the sketch sort of behind it. I'm going to leave it kind of in the middle so I can trace. I'm going to drop that in. I'm going to say okay. All right. So that's the profile at the 1st fret. And now we're going to insert a 2nd canvas, which is going to be our 12th fret one. There's the 12th fret canvas. We're going to insert it in the same face. Move it on down to that other line that we did. And again, it's very easy to see where the fretboard is supposed to be. It should line up pretty well once you resize it. Drop it over. Zoom in a little. Okay. That's pretty close. And again, what I'm going for, I want to be able to trace this line, the yellow one. I'm going to trace that with a spline. Let's do it. Let's edit our sketch. We're still in the same sketch environment. All right. So I'm going to connect to the 12th fret anchor right there. I'm just going to reveal that other sketch just for a little bit of reference. Actually, it'd be kind of nice to have a center line to be working with. You know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and do that right now before I do that sketch. Let's do a center line that's in the very middle of all of this stuff. So we should get a little triangle there at the midpoint. I'm going to go back this way a little bit. And then I'm going to make another one that's completely horizontal, 0 degrees. And I'm going to extend it way out the back of this thing to about here. Okay, that's our center line. That's good. That's going to help us build these sketches a little bit more nicely. And we're going to anchor this spline. Do it kind of in the middle, right at the top, kind of in the middle, and the other anchor point. And again, we're going to be sanding, so if you're off a little bit, that's okay. It's easier to leave more, leave a little extra than to cut it too much. I just want to make it kind of symmetrical. If you really, really wanted to, you could, make some equivalencies in the angles of these spline handles. I don't think it's strictly necessary. All right, let's get this one in here. There we go. Digging this mouse. I'm using a Satechi Bluetooth mouse for this. Fits in my backpack. Can't do fusion on a trackpad, that's for sure. A buddy of mine last night showed me this mouse that it's kind of a knob that you grab. You can move it up and down, and it zooms the thing in and out. in Fusion. It's amazing. Really cool stuff. Okay, there we go. Speaking of buddies, I cannot keep working on this neck without mentioning Brad Anderson. I'll link to his pages where he shows you how to do these lofts when you're creating a neck in much better detail. I'm going to do that actually in the other two videos, so scrolling over to them. Lofting to the heel and lofting to the headstock is really super hard unless you watch Brad Anderson Jr.'s videos on his YouTube. They're essential for this. This part's actually not going to be too hard. I'm done with the sketch. I'm going to go over to the patch environment. Nope. Well, yeah, that's what they call it now, isn't it? Finish form. No, I want the surface environment. That's what it is. I'm going to patch these things and join them. Stitch those two things together. There we go. And I'm going to reveal the sketch again and make another patch for these guys. Stitch them. Okay. That's what I wanted. And now I'm going to grab these things and move them. And I'm going to select this. This is rotate. And allows you to rotate a sketch element on the axis. And I want to select the axis of the fret itself. And now when I drag this down, I can rotate this thing. It's not rotating my patch. Oh, and I've grabbed the line that's coincident with it. Okay, undo. Let's make sure, and let's edit our sketch. And let's get rid of these coincidents in here. Yeah, I knew it. Get that out of here. I'm gonna want to get this one out too. Okay. We should be able to finish that. You know, I may have patched too early. Let's see if we can rotate this stuff as a patch. Move copy to patch. Rotate it around this axis right here. Around this axis. We'll do that. Yeah, there we go. That's what I wanted. I want to rotate the patch that I made. Click OK. Do the same thing for this guy. Move copy. Rotate around the axis that is the fret. 90 degrees. Please let me rotate. Are you anchored to something? Cancel. Yep, they're anchored to something in there. What is it? Can we do this? Can I rotate my sketch element, please? Around this axis? Thank you. That's not so bad. We'll have to repatch it. Oh, it's so embarrassing. I'm trying to teach people Fusion and it's hard. Can we patch this thing? There we go. All right, now that we have our two patches here, we're going to go back to the solid area. And we're going to loft between these two things. Lofting can be very tricky. This is a pretty easy loft because that's going to end up being completely contiguous with all of these very simple sketch elements that we did. I'm just going to do create loft. There it is. That's the back of our neck. Oh, it looks so nice. I like it. Awesome. Okay, we are 1/3 of the way done through our neck. Stay tuned for the next video. We're going to work down here at the heel. We're going to extrude this heel and then loft between this guy, this thing, our patch, and the thing that we extrude next time. I'll see you then.